are things much more important than money. People do fixate on these temporary things.
Yeah. The question always came to me, hey, Dr. Lotus, why are you not doing science? Because you are so brilliant and you made all those great time discoveries and you will be able to be the one win Nobel Prize and, find the cure of cancer. Why didn't you continue? It was like, I see. A lot of people in my family, that's how they think about me. They were like, just like dad. It's like, I cannot figure her out because she dedicated all her life and worked so hard. Dad was the one witnesses how hardworking mom was, right? How dedicated mom was, to the so-called, scientific research in the laboratory. Mom was willing to give up everything and just dedicate all the time, go to the lab and figure out what to, what is the mystery of cancer. So dad basically could not figure out like what could have made her change a direction so drastic. But that was because mom did truly, the most frontier research of cancer and truly, understand what's really going on in the cell and truly understand what is the challenge of the so-called cure. And then, when mom recognized that with that kind of approach, cancer can never be cured, And that's basically the conclusion. All the most, powerful brains in the world in the cancer research field, the Nobel laureates, they all made the same conclusion that, cancer is not a disease that can be conquered by human technology manipulation. And then ultimately they say, hey, stress is the number one cause of all human system level disease. And, the key is called, prevention.
Yeah.
To try to, help the, human world not to, have all this, causing human being to have all those stress response that their system no longer can handle, and eventually the entire system breaks down, and that's called the system level disease. And all those diseases are also called the population called immunocompromised patients in COVID-19 time. The immunocompromised patients, they are all the system level disease patients. They are all, due to the, overstress leading to the system level breakdown. And those are the diseases that humanity can never conquer through technology, because the trouble within their system is not one gene, one molecule, one protein that can use technology to go just fix it. It is an entire system that is gradually breaking down. Use another spiritual way, it's almost like the end time. It's like the human body, that society is facing the end time. Okay, nothing works anymore. Everything is corrupt. Everything is breaking down. Yeah.
It's not like there's just a bacteria, a specific bacteria, an antibiotic can kill. It's the whole system. There's no way to go with it.
Yeah, it is not a... Yeah, it's not an external one single entity of enemy that's invading, and then you can mobilize, your soldiers, and even using some foreign soldiers to help you to kick it out. If the disease is really a, foreign entity called a virus or, bacteria that's invading the system, you can use, external helper to try to kick it out. No problem. But if it is your own system, it's your own gene, it's your own cell that's actually are making trouble for yourself, that is not going to be fixed by external help. That's why vaccine cannot help. Okay, it's going to only make things worse because it is the system level breakdown. Immunocompromised patients, their entire immune system is deviated, and they cannot differentiate self versus non-self. So when the virus comes in, it triggers a suicidal war to directly kill the lung cells. And so the virus, comes in, it didn't kill the people, but the people's immune system launched the, suicidal, immune response called a cytokine storm, and eventually, drastically, injured the lung, epithelial cells, and leading to, the air, cannot be exchanged. And so they basically, drop dead. those severe ones. But then the vaccine goes in there and mess up the immune system even worse. So eventually, the messed up immune system will start to gradually making more trouble. It's either a sudden death or a slow death.
Yeah.
The external help cannot prevent the death, but either, make it, right now it's basically a slow death for those people who receive the vaccination, okay? On the surface, as if those people having no symptom, as if they have survived the trouble, but most of them still will die. They will die in many different other formats.
Yeah.
That's why the only solution is to seek for high powers' blessings. Human being shall not be arrogant and think that human being can resolve, the disasters that human beings have created themselves. Human beings need to repent. Number one is repent, say, we made it. We did it. We, need to rectify our wrongdoings. And we need to understand we are not from monkey. Evolution theory is totally, horrible lies and can, make people turn further away from the righteous way. And need to start to turn around to say that, we have a creator, and we need to ultimately seek help from our creator. The whole thing is so messed up. Nobody can come to, rectify the whole thing anymore. But the creator, will be the power to help everyone. As long as the people's heart turns around and humble themselves and say, we are created by you, and we will follow you. And we will listen to you and will allow you to help us. That is a very fundamental survival, direction that mom wants to tell everybody. Okay. So a lot of people, when mom was, starting to practice Falun Dafa, right? And dad was like, are you telling me that your teacher is a Messiah? Dad was very mad, right? It's like, are you claiming that your teacher is a Messiah? So mom was watching those movies recently about Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
This movie is very interesting. It's really it's the John's version, right? So the movie was made based upon John's version. So in that movie, Jesus walked around, and his 12 disciples came to him. In the movie, it depicts like this: Jesus walked to one of the disciples and smiled at the disciple, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the disciples smiled at Jesus, right? And it's like they know each other, they recognize each other, And Jesus didn't need to say too many things. Jesus basically only said, those like a very kind of philosophical, symbolic sentences. And the disciple immediately recognized, oh, that's my teacher. I've been waiting for him, And then he run away and say, hey, the Messiah is here. Our Lord is here, right? So anyway, those disciples, they don't need the teacher to explain them left and right. I'm your teacher. I've been waiting for you. You need to wake up, and then you need to follow me. I mean, Jesus didn't have to say any of that, and they just all, see Jesus. Look at his smile, hug, and that's it. That's basically a bond is established. So our thinking was like, Jesus said, I'm the shepherd. And my sheep, when they hear my words, they will come to me. I don't need to, do anything more than that, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I understand what's really going on. Like the Falun Dafa practitioners, I mean, many of them have the same experience, like they see the teacher's picture. The moment they meet Master Li, or just open the book and see the picture of Master Li, they cry, tears dropping down their, cheeks. And the mom was one of those, I mean, the moment when mom first met Master Li, I mean, it was really the first conference, right? Mom went there and Master Li came, Mom was starting to cry like a child. It's really very mysterious, sweetheart. It's like,
It is.
It's like mom knew Master Li all life, like just the moment only seeing Master Li and hearing Master Li's voice, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing is needed to explain to mom that this is your teacher. Mom just know, oh, this is my teacher. You know, I've been waiting for this teacher, my teacher, life after life, and I will follow him no matter what. This is this is a kind of interesting thing about the human world. Like, you know, Jesus also said, like, those people, you know, they say that they are Abraham's children. They say that they follow God. But if I am from, you know, if I'm from, you know, our Father, you know, the Lord, right? And if they also truly listen to our Father Lord's message, then they will recognize me.
Yeah.
You know, they would definitely recognize who I am because we are from the same Father, you know? But the reason that they hate me, they want to kill me, is because they are not following our Father.
Mm-hmm.
Very simple, you know? So I think it's very simple. Like, why some people hate Falun Gong practitioners? Because they have departed too far away from truth. They have done way too many bad things. And according to the book of Zhuan Falun, you know, there's this truth about why certain people have poor enlightenment qualities. Because they have created a lot of karma. And the karma is a black substance, and they surrounded the person's body. And therefore, the universe has the fundamental nature called truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. But their karma blocked them to be in touch with the fundamental nature of the universe. So that's why when they hear the truth, they will not believe it.
Yeah.
They will hate it. You know, like Jiang Zemin, from the very beginning, he hated our teacher.
Yeah.
He was jealous of our teacher. And he was so jealous that, you know, he want to just wipe it out. Like, with, you know, this is like total craziness, right? So
He was the biggest hater.
Yeah. He was just exactly like the time, you know, the persecutors, you know, the Jewish people at the time hated Jesus big time.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Jewish authorities at the time, they already deviated from, you know, the creator of the Jewish race, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the you know, Lord of Jewish race, what the name modern people call the name Jehovah, right? Anyway, in the Bible, you know, they consider that they are following the formalities of the religion, just like the time of now. You know, they follow the formality, and they are, you know, selling pigeons and doing business in the temple, right? When Jesus went over there and saw, you know, the temple was filled by business people, you know, selling pigeons, doing trades, right? Jesus was very mad and went like crazy and, you know, kicked, you know, and you know, chased those merchants out from the temple, right? And it's the same thing, like, you know, when the you know, Jewish people, Jewish authority, they established their religious formality, and they believe that it has to be done this way. You know, this day nobody can do the things that Jesus was doing. Jesus was doing healing, miraculous healing on the day. Was that called Shabbat or what is that day?
Yeah, Shabbat. Yeah.
Shabbat is the day that, according to their religious formality, that day is prohibited from, you know, Jesus from doing those kind of miraculous healings. But all the miraculous healings Jesus did was spontaneous, was particularly arranged for him to do it that day, to challenge the authority. So the Jewish authority really hated him and viewed him as someone who's trying to destroy, you know, the religious establishment of the Jewish people, right? So it's the same thing, you know, like when Master Li, you know, was only just teaching, you know, the great things and delivering miraculous healings too to the Chinese people, and to show the Chinese people that, you know, this is the way, you know, can help people to, you know, truly find total health, and then explain the mechanism of why people, you know, following this, you know, teaching actually can accomplish total health? What is the mechanism of Qigong? What is the history of Qigong, right? What is the mechanism of the energy in the universe? What is the mechanism of the human body, energy system, right? And, this all very profound, most advanced human life science was delivered in such a way that even common people, uneducated people can understand. I mean, this is just incredible,
Yeah.
When Mom read the book, Mom was like, my goodness, this is profound, Mom could not figure it out at the very beginning how profound it is, but Mom had this sense because Mom was always searching for the truth. So when Mom, read for the first time the book of Zhuan Falun, Mom was like, oh, this is big, this is profound. I'd better, do some, put some time research into it. That's basically how Mom treated Falun Dafa to begin with. Just basically humbly read and then try to, learn how to do the exercises. And then the body recognize the energy system. So powerful, so beneficial. A lot of people basically learn Falun Dafa that way. So when Jiang Zemin want to eradicate it, the practitioners cannot let go of it because they know that this is something that will be able to help their life, to be, healthy and comfortable. And, to really kind of, for the first time, they experience what means a healthy body. If you never experience a healthy body, you don't know what the body's supposed to feel like. But if you just once experience what means total health, how can you let it go?
Go back. Exactly.
There's no way, you know that, oh, this is called health. This is called, balance of the body. This is called, meaning of life, This is the reason that I live, right? This is how universe operates. This is how our body operates. And once the person knows the truth of that level, you think people will let it go? Absolutely not.
No, it's like you open the door, you can't close it.
Absolutely not. So that's why the followers of Jesus, at the time when Jesus was, he was walking on the earth. Well, Jesus saw this man was blind, right? He was blind from the birth. And then Jesus took some mud and spit on it and made some paste and put on his eyes and said, go to wash your eyes. And he went to wash his eyes and then his vision came back. And so, the Jewish authority took him in and investigated him. And he was like, I told you many times, this is what Jesus did to me. He put some mud on my eyes and he told me to wash it and I washed it and I can't see it.
Uh-huh.
And then they got the parents over, say, is this true? Your son was blind? Yes, we are his parents. And he was blind when he was born.
Yeah.
And now he can see. And all we know is a man called Jesus who healed him. So what's wrong with him? What's wrong with Jesus who healed, our son? Right? And it's like once the person was, healed and can see light, you think that person will say that Jesus didn't heal him?
Of course not. Yeah, exactly.
This is the truth, like the Falun Gong practitioners, they were, having late-stage cancer, they had a hunchback, they were paralyzed. And, these are the, patients originally when they went to see Master Li. Master Li did exactly what Jesus did, right? There was one person that was, paralyzed and he was always on the ground, could not move, right? Jesus told him, pick up your blanket and walk. And he picked up his blanket and he stood up and he walked.
Yeah.
And then, he was healed. And Master Li did the same thing to the people who actually was like handicapped and paralyzed, right? So Master Li said, stand up. The person stand up. And Master Li said, walk. The person walk. Master Li said, run. The person run. Okay?
Yeah.
So basically all those things were recorded in Bible that Jesus did. The time when Jesus did all those miracles, people will say, oh, he's God. Because human cannot do that. He must be God, right? But modern time, when Master Li did all that, people just basically say, oh, that's called Qigong. Do you know that? Because before Master Li, Qigong was so popular in China. And a lot of Qigong masters, they sent out powerful energy and did miraculous things. And everybody just basically already used to it. They say, oh, it's called a Qigong, you know. It's called a Qigong, you know. Nobody viewed Master Li as a god, okay?
Yeah.
And the Master Li never told everybody, say, hey, you know, I am your Messiah, follow me, and then you will be saved. Master Li didn't say that, you know. Master Li basically only say that, you know, it's called a Qigong. It's called a Falun Gong. And, you know, this is a very ancient, you know, mind-body practice, and it dated from prehistorical time, you know. And this used to be a method, you know, a teaching that, you know, saved many people's life, you know, during the prehistorical time. And this is the, you know, teaching that now I'm bringing up to the human world, you know. And anybody can learn it. And, you know, however amount of effort you put into it, however amount of harvest you will gain, right? I modified it, you know, before it was like a secret, you know, passed down through secret lineage, but I modified it so that, you know, anybody can learn from it, okay, and can benefit from it. And then you need to understand that only doing the exercises will not, you know, heal you. Fundamentally, you need to, you know, follow the principles to live, okay? So what kind of principle you need to follow? You know, this universe has a nature called 真善人, okay? So, you know, although human moral, you know, has been sliding big time, even the standard of human morality is already twisted now. And when people do bad things, when you teach them that this is bad, they don't even believe you, right? Some people, they consider they are doing better than other people, although they are doing wrong things. When you tell them, oh, you know, I'm already doing better than other people, they don't want to listen to you. But I will tell you that, as a matter of fact, you know, the universe has a nature called 真善人. And that standard will never change. No matter how the human world is corrupt, this standard is already there. So as cultivators, you shall not follow the deviated human, you know, already corrupt human morality standard and downslide human morality standard to, you know, guide you. You need to follow the ultimate nature of the universe to guide you. And therefore, you need to follow, you know, truthfulness, compassion, forbearance in everything you do. And therefore, the most fundamental thing as a cultivator, you know, you need to actually understand that, you know, 打不还手，骂不还口. When other people hit you, you cannot hit back. When other people curse at you, you cannot curse back, right? And then you need to understand that the fundamental mechanism of elevation of your spirit actually is counting upon your working on your mind. And then the most important thing is called 心性, the mind nature. Okay, you need to work on your heart and mind nature. And now, how do you gonna work on your heart mind nature? Then usually it manifests into the human world as personal conflicts. Okay, so when other people treat you bad, why you cannot treat other people bad? Because when other people treat you bad, as a matter of fact, you know, there will be a black substance, you know, accumulating when anybody to do the bad things. Okay, it's a true material existence. And then, you know, when you do good things, there is a white matter called virtue. Okay, so the black matter is called karma, the white matter is called virtue. And when you do wrong things, you will accumulate karma, the black substance. And then when you do good things, you will accumulate virtue, the white substance. And the more black substance you accumulate, then, you know, the more disasters, the trouble and sufferings you will start to face, okay, because it's your debts, okay? So, you know, therefore, you know, when other people treat you bad, you should not be upset. Not only that, you need to understand that since now you're a cultivator, when people treat you bad, it's an opportunity for you to elevate your 心性, the mind heart nature, and also you suffer a little bit and you eliminate your karma. And then also the karma will actually be transformed into virtue. And then because you're cultivated, the virtue will be transformed into energy, and then you truly elevate through the process. So therefore, when other people treat you bad, you actually gain 4 times. You gain 4 times. You eliminate your karma, you know, you gain virtue, you elevate your mind heart nature, and you obtain gong to elevate yourself. So therefore, in the human world, whenever you have trouble, you need to view it as a cultivator, not view it as an ordinary person. And when you treat yourself as a cultivator, everything in the human world is for your elevation. Okay? So therefore, you need to even love your enemy. Okay. So you see, Jesus didn't explain all that. Jesus only said that, when people slap your left cheek, turn your right. So a lot of people was like, why? I'm stupid? Why when other people bully me, why I need to let him bully and turn my left, right cheek to let him bully furthermore? I'm not going to follow you. You crazy. Do you know what I mean? Jesus didn't explain the mechanisms of why certain things needs to be carried out this way or that way. And, Jesus said certain things that a lot of people will consider Jesus is crazy and a troublemaker. For example, Jesus said, I'm not here to bring the human world peace. I'm here to stir up all the trouble in the human world. I will make the children leave. I will make trouble between the parents and the children. I will make trouble between husband and wife. Do you know that paragraph? In the Bible, I think it was Matthew's or who I think it was Matthew's version. Jesus basically said that if you don't love me more than your own parents, then you are not my disciple. If you don't love me more than your love for your own children, then you are not my disciple, right? That's what Jesus said. So when Jesus explained that, the people at the time was like, this man is crazy. He come to stir up trouble in the human world, and he wants the children to, not love their parents, and they, he wants everybody to love him more than his parents and his children, and he's really, bad person. We want to persecute him, right? But Jesus actually was telling a truth, a very profound truth. But Jesus didn't explain to the people at the time, because I guess at the time, people's mind is not that complicated as modern people, right? So mom understand that Jesus was telling the truth. For example, like the moment when mom decided to be a cultivator, follow the truth. Before, mom had no trouble with 外公外婆, right? And 外公外婆started to have trouble with mom big time, correct? And it was the choice basically mom had was whether mom to be a filial daughter versus mom continue to be a cultivator and follow the teachings of Falun Dafa and make a stand for Falun Gong, right? Do you know, it's like what the Jesus said, because of Falun Gong's, appearance in mom's life, as if it created trouble. It's really about mom need to leave the parents and follow Falun Gong. Do you know what I mean? Like between mom and, dad, the marriage. Dad made the ultimate, choice. One mom, you choose between me and Falun Gong. Do you know what I mean? Many things like, about you and the mom. Mom need to decide whether to spend time to be a good mama, stay home, make money, and raise you, just love you more than anything else, versus mom need to leave you behind, come to New York and build the whole Elephant Institute and to try to spread the truth. Do you know what I mean? So Jesus told the truth, which is this fundamental truth, that if you are living in the human world, and if you want to follow the truth, and if that truth is going to elevate you from the human world and let you, be, divine, the most biggest attachment you have to let go actually is human sentimental love. Are you seeing that point? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it almost goes against, it's almost like not intuitive, but it makes sense.